Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. I hope you're all doing excellently tonight. We are doing quite fantabulous here. Why are we doing quite fantabulously here? Well, because it's been a productive day. We've got a lot done. For example, if you are behind on any of our shows, you can start getting caught up on them on our YouTube channel at twitch.tv/tabletop, not Twitch, youtube.com/tabletop rolls. We're tabletop rolls everywhere. You're getting an episode of every one of our shows every day of the week. And this Saturday, you're getting two things. Not only are you going to get this week's episode, The Astral Calling, but you're also going to get the first Salt and Strategy VOD of our Solasta playthrough.
I'm really having I did not expect to have this much fun with the game.
It's been good. I think it's because we have such good company in Chad and Calf hanging out with us, failing insight checks, and just having a good time.
Aww.
They really have ported the 5e kind of experience very well. It feels like I'm playing DVD just with like graphics and the developers flexing, we can do 3D environments without having to do weird maps on paper. So that does mean like, we're just going to run through this area we've been before. Then someone screeches, "Stop! Spiders!" Stop, rotate the camera. Oh, they're hanging on to the bottoms of things. Oh, God.
It was
That's
great.
A lot of spiders.
Or else, the teleporting spiders that I don't notice teleporting beside me and say, "Oh, fuck, there's a spider beside me, friends."
Very loud.
So clip it. You can. There's a VOD.
I barely know her.
Yeah, we can still clip it. We got so many cats. Hold on. Hold on.
We got 3 whole cats.
We
got 3 whole cats. Boop, boop, ba-doo.
Other shows here on the channel. We have a lot of them for you to watch.
I don't have a cat, but I've got Foo. People have compared him to a cat.
Cute.
On Monday nights, we have the Strength of Thousands AP. It's what you're watching right now. On Wednesday nights, we have the League of Amazing Adventurers. And guess what? This Wednesday, we're doing like a session -0. Where's my cat-adjacent creature?
I think I see a Pokemon somewhere.
I don't have a cat, but I have a Coco Goat.
Sure.
A small percentage of our audience will get that.
I also have this.
That'll work. That's acceptable.
Yeah, that's more cat-like.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I keep an Eevee on my desk, chat. But as I was saying, other shows Wednesday night, League of Amazing Adventurers. It's going to be our session 0 for a Wild West game.
Oh, okay.
That's putting it out into the world. It's going to be like our session -0. Like, it's going to be us talking a little bit about the upcoming campaign, doing some like light character stuff, and then we're going to just have some fun.
Are you thinking we're going to do any one-shots before the Western?
I think we might do one, but I want a little bit more time to finish planning it.
Okay.
Then, on Friday, we have The Astral Calling. We're picking up where we left 2 weeks ago, because last week we had a number of people out, some for health things, some for things that took a year to happen.
I hung out with friends.
Hey.
Friends.
Hear that, everybody? I have friends! Woo! I have friends. I definitely have friends.
Friends, friendly friends. Time to name my friends.
Time to meet my friends.
I'm
Pepper.
Speaking of friends, Stardew Sunday, of course, on Sundays, and Salt and Strategy on Saturdays. Both of those shows have friends in them. Stardew Sunday, not this week, but next week, we'll have everyone back. And we will be, doing that stuff. We'll continue with our stream. Sarah and I are going to finish the mines next session, is what I've decided.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I will bribe you with things Shane likes.
I'll take it.
There you go. And yeah, those are all of our shows. So Matt, why don't you do me a favor and introduce the people who are playing in this game tonight?
Why, hello everyone. I am Matt, the DM for this game, and inspired by Will's cat-adjacent device, I think my favorite Eevee evolution is the ice one. I just think it looks very elegant.
I'm so happy
But-
you didn't say Vaporeon, Matt.
Because you see, no.
Oh, don't you fucking dare. Don't
No,
you
I don't
fucking
want it.
dare.
No.
Stay away
I
from
know
our
that
animals.
But yes, I am Matthew Urbanoff of various places on the internet. I run the group here through the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. But enough about me. Let's
Are
go
you
on
sure
to
we're
people.
not playing Stardew Valley right now?
Oh, are we?
Oh.
Fuck me in the
Sure does look like
asshole.
we're playing Stardew Valley.
You know, okay,
Evidently.
Go
I will
farming.
I do this.
Definitely.
I do this alone. I'm sorry.
We're
No,
cat
Will, we
farming.
love you for it. We love you
I
for
try
it.
my best. I'm a single
There we
Twitch channel.
go.
I'm a single Twitch channel operator.
A single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops.
I mean, if
A
I'm being
gentle hand with
honest,
a heart of a fighter.
if I'm being honest,
Oh, boy.
this Twitch channel is like a second job that does not pay, but I do because I love.
It pays dividends in friendship.
It lets me spend time with my friends, and that's like the best thing, because I get to spend time with my friends and not feel guilty about it, which is like a really hard thing for me to do. It's very difficult for me to enjoy doing like things that I enjoy doing without feeling guilty about it. So we're good. This is nice.
No. Also, McKenna, speaking to your comment, I might have picked Vaporeon because I like water types. I like just aquatic stuff like fish and stuff. A lot of my favorite Pokemon are water types, but I don't like the neck frill thing. Aesthetically, it
And then I
bothers me.
I saw a cosplayer do like a Victorian Vaporeon
Okay, that would work. Yes.
cosplay, like dressed to the nines, or maybe it was Elizabethan. I was pretty sure it was Victorian Vaporeon because I remember
I'm gonna say
it
that
like
10
sort of
times
rhymes in the
fast.
alliteration. Also, I agree, chat. Sylveon might be my favorite.
Sylveon is most definitely my favorite. And my favorite thing about Sylveon, the ribbons are made of flesh.
Yeah.
I'm
Think
actually.
about that.
Thin ribbons.
But
Yelly.
speaking
I'm actually with Rose for evolutions, and mine's Leafeon.
Yeah, Leafeon
Also
is good.
flesh.
it's
Anyway.
I
all
think
flesh.
what bothers
They're
me about
animals.
Leafeon is that their shiny is so.
Yes, but they are grass types, so they will grow on you eventually.
The stream has died.
Villain point. Villain point.
But
Absolutely.
speaking of those
Yep,
who
there
like,
it is. Thank you, Crystal Craft. Crystal
you.
Craft. Crystal Craft.
I mean, Crystal Craft could be in the good name for a cool kind of arts and crafts stream.
Yeah, Crystal Craft.
I was
But
thinking more like
speaking-
Kraft mac and cheese.
I had that the other night. The noodles got too soggy. Speaking of those who like Sylveon and are often dressed to the nines, Zoe, why don't you introduce yourself and your character you're playing it? I was going to say what your favorite Eevee evolution is, but you already identified that.
It's Sylveon. I like that one. Hi guys, I'm Zoe. I go by Zoesuppose. I go by Zosephina. I go by Zoe. I go by Zeth. If it starts with a Z. And I'm playing Ophelia. She is our whisper elf bard. She loves all things pop, punk, pink. Pop, pop, pop. How's that for alliteration for you? And she is trying to steal everybody's hearts. And this is Dahlia.
She's already stolen mine.
She's helping.
Flawless, immaculate, except it's pronounced Zed. But anyway, moving on to McKenna. Who are you playing? Who are you playing, and what's your favorite Pikachu adjacent Pokemon?
Oh.
Pikachu.
Okay.
Regional
okay.
variants allowed.
Okay. I am McKenna of McKenna Ray Art on all the socials, mainly TikTok. And this is Pepper. She is playing Avi's familiar Agate. And I am playing Avi, the Nyctera Witch. And I think my favorite Pikachu adjacent Pokemon might be Pachirisu. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, you are. A surprisingly useful Pokemon in competitive battles.
I have to look that one up. I don't
They're
actually know that
just
one.
sweet little. They just got those sweet little cheeks,
Like a
sweet little baby face.
Blue squirrel.
Not my favorite all-time Pokemon. but
Pikachu adjacent.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Yeah.
PACHRISU. Pachirisu.
All right. But moving on to the next member of our cast, Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself, your character, and your favorite dragon type?
Really? Gotta go there? Okay.
Keep it on your toes.
Yeah. All right. Hi, my name is Sarah Margaret. Big Red Cat Pictography on social medias, and I'm playing as Charlotte, the Anati toxicologist. And I have to say, it's difficult to hammer it down, but I think it's gonna be a weird combination between Dragonite and Altair.
Ooh, classic.
Ooh.
not Noivern.
That's obvious, okay?
Noivern.
That is obvious. It's also mine.
Avi has that.
I did have in the Pokemon Sword, I had a Noivern on my main party. For a dragon type, but until they make an EV dragon type, Dragonite will have to do. I like I like Dragonite and all of the evolutions of that one, particularly because he's just such a sweet little boy. Sweet big boy that wants hugs.
He's just big and cuddly.
He's big and cuddly, so I think that's part of it.
And last but certainly not least, because he is the host of this whole feast, so to speak, Will, introduce yourself, what your character is you're playing tonight, and what type of Pokemon you would think would be most likely to be found in an Olive Garden.
Fuck you. Well, chat, it's time for you to prepare for trouble and make it double. As tonight I am playing Igora. I'm basically playing Team Rocket, aren't I? Because we have Igora, we have Gama, we have Choco.
Which one is which? Who's Meowth?
Igora is Meowth.
Okay. Wait, Igora's Meowth?
Igora's Meowth. Jessie
Correct,
is Igora's Meowth. Jesse is Choco. And James is Gama.
Choco
James
is dating
Gama.
Ash's mom?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
I'm in
The
pain.
Pokemon that I think would be found in an Olive Garden. Garatina, because that's the Pokemon Satan.
Oh no, Zoe, your message Nightbot has gone after you.
Well, I was just very upset because you're right. It was
Nightbot said
small.
no allusions to Vor. Bam, bam, bam.
Only we can say those on this channel. No, but seriously, Garatina, because that's Pokemon Satan, and that's the only Pokemon that should be found in an Olive Garden, because it is a creation of the devil.
Surprised you didn't go with like
Gardevoir?
Trubbish, which was the obvious answer.
No, Garatina, because Garatina is the literal devil. It's in Olive Garden as hell.
I think that Muck and Trubbish get a lot of flack. Their main premise is to clean up the environment. That's what they do.
I like regional Trubbish.
I quite like Trubbish and Muck and Grimer, and they're very cute.
Do they smell god-awful? Yes, but they're doing their best.
I mean, so do skunks, and skunks look adorable.
Skunk Tank. You love them. My favorite Pokemon, though, is Zubat.
Classic. I also hate the one that looks like a pair of keys.
Clink Clank.
It's a stupid concept, and I hate it.
Klefki?
Oh, wait, no, I love Klefki. It's so
No.
cute.
I
But
think
anyway.
I'm only mad about
Jingle,
Klefki
jingle,
because
jingle.
they are so competitively broken.
They are.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
yes.
They were back
Especially-
when I was paying attention to them.
Oh god, especially in the TCG now, they are disgusting.
Just over that stupid gold Dango. That thing looks dumb, is dumb, and is used in like every Pokemon battle now.
You know, I'm just gonna call it. We should roll the intro.
Yeah.
But before we do, I want to say one last thing. Objectively, Alolan Raichu is the best. Roll that. When last we left off, our group of students and then teachers, lore speakers, had ventured out into the wilds of the Milwaukee Expanse to engage in various academic expeditions and to reconnect with a student who had left abruptly. Did so, did a little ruin exploring in a ruined city, but then got kind of sidetracked because some horrible Knights of Abendigo turned out to be raiding through the land, took some prisoners. You had to track them down, dealing with absurdities along the way. By the way, I'm just going to roll a D100 here. All right, the Undead Knight is currently fighting off 3 bears right now in its pursuit of you. It is also heading in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Come at me,
love to
bitch.
see
I took
it.
disintegrate this time, so
Well, I'm changing tonight's plans then.
You were thinking ahead.
Totally forgot about them.
They
specifically
finally
this problem.
came upon the Knights of Abendigo's stronghold, the vacant, or the prison of the vacant eye, not the vacant of the prison eye. So that's kind of interesting. Managed to clear it out after several real-world weeks of kind of grinding through all the various rooms of it. Some tense battles were had. Some clever solutions to problems were achieved. I am both proud and frustrated. But yeah, you guys discovered that things were not over with the prison being cleared out because the Knights apparently had a bit of a stronghold in the city of Jula, and the father of one of your students was still missing, presumably having been taken to Jula for some unknown and probably not great purpose. You left the prison looking for the route to Jula, discovered that Mercedes, the proprietor of the Black Hat Magic Shop back in Nantambu, happened to have been traveling by and wanted to discuss some things with you because they had purchased a life debt that you had owed to Will's pet, Choco, or a blood debt, I suppose you could call it. That was some discussion was had about that last episode. A few people had private kind of discussions with Mercedes. Will's character, feeling the sting of betrayal, sulked inside his giant frog's mouth all night. But
sulked or
yeah.
soaked?
It sucks when
Both.
it sucks when you get betrayed by an animal companion.
I wouldn't
Betrayed
know
is a
about that.
strong word.
Betrayed, stabbed in the
Oh,
back.
you say that now, McKenna. You're going to find out Agate's been doing cryptocurrency stuff.
What? Straight to cryptocurrency.
Funny enough, that means a different thing in the fantasy world.
Oh, huh.
Oh, okay, good for her.
Our YouTube channel's at 69
Get that gold.
subscribers.
Nice.
Sorry?
Our
Nice.
YouTube channel's at 69 subscribers right now.
Nice.
2 more episodes.
But yeah, we last left off. You guys were having a lovely breakfast inside the carriage of Mercedes. And yeah, unless any of you have any further business to discuss with Mercedes, you can just essentially enjoy a comfortable day riding in the sort of extra-dimensional space inside this carriage. Every now and then, Mercedes kind of has to excuse herself and does some more business via magic mirror in her personal study. So yeah, you guys can either just relax, you can explore this central area of the carriage if you want, or we can just say time passes, you enjoy your comfortable ride, much more comfortable than it would have been riding frogs, and we will essentially arrive at a destination.
I'm going to make one more bid for Kiara's debt.
Are you doing this just sitting in the central room, or are you gone back to the assigned room you were given? Are you like trying to do it privately, or just
Probably
everyone
the
else?
central room. Oh yeah, Avi I don't think cares if anyone else hears this. If anything, help from her more charismatic cohorts might be necessary, because I'm sure whatever role I need to make for this is not something I'm good at. But you know, at some point when she doesn't look especially busy, I will sidle up to Mercedes and say, I had one more offer for Kiara's debt, if you are in the mood to hear it. It's not anything especially valuable in terms of gold, but I do think it has sentimental value, and it is uncommon.
Oh, and
you're
I
interested
assure
in
you, my
that.
dear, gold is not really worth a whole lot to me.
That's kind of what I thought.
Except when it is required for material components for complex spells and rituals. That's always kind of strange to me that crazy magics require monetary compensation, but whatever.
Oh, I very much agree. I very much agree.
They
It's
both
not
stare
important
directly at the
until it
camera.
is. Yes. I have this, and I pull out a stylish black squirrel statue. It is a small black statuette of a squirrel. And Avi says, since Kiara's debt is something that is of sentimental value to me, I thought that something else of sentimental value might make sense to trade for it. This is something I won at a storytelling competition, and I am not particularly adept at storytelling or public speaking or talking to people in general, as I'm sure you can maybe gather from this conversation that we're having right now. I'm not doing a
She
great
kind of
job.
just briefly interrupts you. Oh, darling, I was there, remember?
No.
Yep.
I don't think Avi perceived that she was there.
It's possible, but her and her creepily slender manservant were there.
Oh, you know what? I remember the manservant. I don't think I saw her specifically.
It was probably a very brief mention.
She had a pretty outfit on. I remember that.
I mean,
Oh,
Mercedes
well,
is always dressed impeccably and never in anything comfortable and silly.
No. Or fluffy.
Or some might say snuggy.
a snuggie.
Casually.
A very dignified
by the
snuggie.
bagel.
Maybe it's like a brocade snuggie.
No, it really wasn't.
With a pair of Crocs.
Ugh,
No.
that's a step too far.
Probably those oversized slippers that are actually like very soft bare feet.
Oh, I love those.
So good.
Those are so good.
You sleep?
Magic sweatpants. Go on, sorry. McKenna.
That's okay. Well then, if you were there, you might remember that I won this. And I do think it is particularly uncommon for someone who is maybe not so adept at doing those things to win an award for it. So that is what I am offering is this this small trophy of that, if that's worth anything to you.
Make a diplomacy check to see how persuasive you are in this. Unless, of course, you're lying, then make a deception check.
Not, and it doesn't matter. Both are bad. Yeah. Yeah. That's about as good as could have been expected.
Mercedes takes a moment and actually sits down in one of the chairs and kind of sits back. Don't take this the wrong way, Avi. I understand and I do appreciate that this item does have sentimental value to you. And while I'm not going to take this particular trade, it's not based on how much this particular object means to you or its monetary value. It's actually more to do with Kiara's debt.
Oh?
How should I put this? The scale isn't exactly balanced in this regard. But
Yeah.
if
That's
you
all
are,
I have that is not a possession of the group. So unfortunately, if I had more to offer you, I would.
oh my dear, I think you're selling yourself short.
Oh?
You are an accomplished lore speaker of the Magambia. You are clever. You are charming in your own way. You are, if I might say so, fairly deadly in magical combat. I think you have more to offer than you think. And in that regard, as I've seen now, that you seem quite intent on perhaps acquiring this debt from Kiara, transferring it, though honestly I don't actually transfer debts a great deal. I might be persuaded in this moment to make you my own sort of offer.
Oh?
I am willing to transfer Kiara's debt to you in however that ends up playing out for you later. I can't guarantee what exactly it will mean. If you would be willing to enter into a debt to me.
Oh.
Avi, I swear to God.
Igor sitting over in the corner with his like mug of
Which
cocoa or
god?
something.
Which god?
Honestly, knowing our person that we're in a room with right now, she probably worships Zon Cathon. I don't know. Fuck, what's a good god? Desna.
If I'm being perfectly honest, and I don't often offer up this kind of information freely, very usually, I'm agnostic. It's not really. It's not really
in the corner
required
there's Charlotte
for
with
me.
a cup of tea, going, "Good on you."
More logs for the ship.
You know,
I mean,
just...
looking the way I do, dealing the kind of things I do, I could worship Desna, and I don't think most people would believe me.
No, that's why I said Zon Cathon. It seemed up your alley.
That's really rude, Igor.
She just kind of gives a weird, like, ambivalent kind of handshake.
That's the guy who tortures people for fun.
Yep.
And that's just not the vibe I'm getting here.
I assure you, Igor, while I do enjoy parts of my work here, I don't do this because I find it fun or I enjoy seeing people squirm or anything. In a way, I do it because it is my nature. I am sort of compelled to do so. I am the change I wish to be in the world. And by that I mean facilitating and enabling others.
Looks up at the mage in a box, looks back at her, just says, Avi, just...
They're perfectly fine with this arrangement. If they were awake, they would tell you that.
Avi, if you end up in a box, just know I am going to kill Mercedes to get you out of it. And I just kind of sit down.
I feel like I need to apologize on his behalf. He's in a really cantankerous, grouchy mood.
You actually see Mercedes gets a little flushed in the cheek and undoes a button and fans herself. It's getting a little warm in here.
Igor, you may be having some opposite effects for what you're going for.
Just absolute murder.
Don't promise people with a good time.
Threaten me with a good time.
Moving on.
Inevitability of my death. You're bringing. What is it? What is it? I don't know if I want somebody to take me out, like by kill or on a date. Either way.
Either way.
Either way. What bliss?
With your legs? What are you doing with your legs?
Well, okay. Quite frankly, I am quite tempted to just accept, sight unseen, because I feel like you do good business. And I'm also curious to know what you would ask of me.
I'm just seeing Will's silent image on the screen.
No, this is Igor. This is all Igor just silently being like...
Musing.
But I would like to at least try to ask what task might you want of me?
Perfectly honest, at the moment, I don't know. I am sort of in the midst of a couple different jobs, so to speak, and the thing that entices me about the possible debt to you is that you have a wide and varied skill set and also, connections to people in Magambia and in Tambu and now possibly across the land. You are a potential networking goldmine, my dear.
I would like to get you more involved with the Magambia, to be quite honest. I think you have a fascinating skill set and could do a lot of teaching.
You might have to talk to a couple particular members of the staff, then.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard sell. I'm going to level with you.
It's not that there's any true bad blood. One person has tried to get me banned. I don't know if they went through with their threat.
Well, that's a good
Not
idea.
really. I got kind of just a bit of an irate letter with letters cut out of different scrolls. They said they were going to put up a ward. I've never tested it. I've never actually gone onto the Magambia grounds.
Oh.
walk into
Maybe I'll try to do that.
I don't know. I keep hearing weird things happen to students there. People get like their heads turned into pumpkins or something, and giant insects erupt out of the ground.
Now
No
that
to the
is
first one, yes to
true.
the second.
I don't
That's
really
actually
like
part of the reason we're trying to track Kiara down in the first place is because there's a non-zero chance of her possibly being involved with that. But there's no real way to know without asking her, and she absconded right after the biggest attack. So who's to say? Who's to say?
What type of insects?
Oh, all sorts.
Various.
All sorts.
Oh,
Not very tasty though, largely poisonous, unfortunately.
To be fair, Sarah, just as someone who's lived in the Milwaukee Expanse all your life, there are plenty of giant insects just native to Milwaukee Expanse. Like non-sentient
non-sentient ones, yes.
like giant flies that people can ride, which are quite horrifying, actually. Giant tzitzit flies.
Oh yeah, we fought one of
do have
those. That was
insect
nasty.
Also, that was underground, which was weird. I don't like the idea of giant, twitchy insects in small confined spaces. Ugh.
People crawling. In any case, no, I know of the things. It's one of my lores. I understand insects way too much.
Mhm.
They make great.
Well, I suppose as long as they agree that whatever task you assign me is roughly the same amount of effort as the task that you originally performed on Kiara's behalf, I think that is. Well, what do you think, Agate? And Avi kind of, looks to Agate just to make sure that she's not getting. I don't think Avi would mind getting herself into a sticky situation, but getting herself into a sticky situation also means getting Agate into a sticky situation. So she's going to look to Agate briefly.
Agate kind of does a little serpentine motion through your legs and kind of ends up sitting, back paws down, front paws up, stares up at Mercedes with an interesting kind of like ponderous look on her face. It's like, And Mercedes actually kind of gets down, I hate to use this phrase, but pops a squat to get down as close to eye level with Agate as possible. And they just kind of stare into each other's eyes for like a good 30 seconds. And then Agate gives the tiniest, mildly skeptical little nod. Her little kitty eyes narrow, but she's like, okay. But she does keep her eyes on Kiara. Like, she doesn't turn her back, and she doesn't do the thing.
On who?
On Mercedes. Sorry.
Oh, damn it.
Which is all a ruse. And she doesn't do that cat thing that they do when when cats blink in your presence, which means, they're comfortable and safe in your presence. Agate is unblinking in front of Kiara. She is guarded. I did it again. Mercedes.
She gave the cat nod. She gave the kitty cat nod. She can also use her words.
She is choosing not to in this time.
Interesting. Okay.
Silent assessment. They do that.
Well, with the nod of approval from my dear companion, I suppose that this is a deal I am willing to make.
Until they betray you.
Chic.
There is just a little bit of like the most almost imperceptible little like shockwave of air just out from the handshake. The curtains on the edges of the room just move a little bit, and you feel like a tingle go up your arm.
Ooh, fun. Do you also feel the tingling?
I do. What is going on here?
Good deal.
Igro, would you like some more cocoa?
I have not been partaking in anything in this. I've been eating from my rations. Thank you very much.
Maybe that's why you're so grumpy, Igra.
No, I just do not want to F with this.
These cordon fleurs are absolutely delicious, by the way. Your cookies.
Love me some jerky.
I cannot take any credit for it. The food is produced as part of, kind of gestures at the box on the ceiling, the magic of the Magnificent Mansion. I cannot take credit for it.
Without pausing, Charlotte looks up and goes, "Thank you." and continues to like.
I'm sure if they were awake, they would appreciate the thank you. I shall convey it when their term of service has completed.
9 million years.
By the by, if any of you end up learning the spell and want to exchange the knowledge of that spell for some nebulous thing in the future, I might be interested because I've grown accustomed to traveling like this. It's pretty nice.
Oh, dream message?
No, Magnificent Mansion, if you ever learn the spell.
Oh, it's a good spell.
And if you ever want to like take a year sabbatical and just have a magical
too
nap for a
could be
year.
Stuck in a box.
I mean, they're
I
asleep.
mean, for a year, that's not. You have to understand, Igor, I am going to live for many, many, many years, so just 1 year is maybe not as big of a deal for me as it might be for you.
Still a year of your life, Avi.
I'd be sleepy. That's fine. It's just a long nap.
Igor,
I mean,
I think
I
we're
provided them the
missing-
most comfortable pajamas.
we're missing some core beliefs here, and that is we can agree to disagree, but people's choices are people's choices. And even if we don't agree with them, that doesn't mean that we need to be wholeheartedly like poo-pooing them, okay?
I am not poo-pooing. I am simply saying if it looks evil, smells evil, possibly tastes evil, I really don't want to taste it. It probably is evil.
I mean, I consider myself more spicy neutral.
Arguably
I don't
So
think you
spicy
smell
neutral.
Goodness me, I mean, I was hoping I would win you over by the end of this trip, but I've met more flexible paladins, including ones that swung hammers at my head.
Listen, when you grow up in a cult, you know warning signs.
Do you though?
Do you?
I feel like your frame of reference would be somewhat skewed.
Well,
Agate just goes. You just got a
Sometimes you
judgmental
do.
meow from the cat.
I mean, to be fair, he is out of the cult now, so one would assume he understands the signs of a cult.
I've never run a cult.
Yeah, exactly.
A cult generally includes multiple people in regards to worship of a singular individual. Is that not correct?
Points to mage in a box. Points to indentured undead elf servant.
No, Nictaran.
Nictaran servant.
Yes, and the point is they're here by choice.
Just saying.
Would you have? They came to me with a request. Should I not have granted that request?
Yes, you should have.
I should have not granted?
You should have granted the request, but out of the goodness of your heart, not for some deal.
I don't think that's how the world works.
Well, then.
Also, something that seems to have, for some magical reason, an adverse effect on Mercedes Igora. She did something for, I think it was Charlotte the other day, just to be nice, and she literally got a nosebleed.
She should really look into that then. Sounds like something to look into.
I would, but most magical healers are often of religious persuasions, and they often have an unhealthy prejudice towards me.
Yeah, kind of like
Except
Igora.
certain ones, and I don't want to talk to those ones.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Like I said, I've never run a cult.
So,
Do
Are
you
you-
have experience in a cult, Mercedes?
Pulls out the red flag.
I mean, not voluntarily.
Puts it in the ground.
Well, that's generally the thing with cults is that it's not voluntary.
Well, no, I know. I mean, just like
I don't mean to interrupt, but do you not know why you have to do the things you do?
I mean, it's my nature. I am compelled. This is just how I feel I fit into the world.
I understand that.
We all travel to find our purpose.
Oh, I know my purpose. And Charlotte, I think you do too. I feel like the way Mercedes acts is very similar to my compulsion, and my assumption is your compulsion as well to learn things. And when there are inconsistencies, or mysteries to solve them. Like that is something that I find a great deal of purpose in, and that is something that I have seen you find a great deal of purpose in. And I feel like someone, maybe other people that are not us, could just see a book full of text that cannot be translated and go, oh well, I can't translate that. But not us, because we feel compelled to be like, we need to finish this and figure this out, and there's the satisfaction in solving a riddle like that. And I think that's fairly unique to us. And in a similar vein, I think Mercedes has her own compulsions, and I think it's nice to have a purpose. I feel like it's good to have goals like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hear more about this cult, because Igora was also involved in a cult.
For once, Mercedes just kind of like seems to rub her brow a little bit. She actually looks a tiny bit uncomfortable.
Like, rather
so no, it's just a little mortifying, is all. So I've never run a cult. I never joined a cult. But it turns out, at one point, before I was living in Nintambu...
I swear to God, if you're about to say there was a cult that worshipped you, I am going to.
I mean, they thought of themselves as a cult, but it was like 8 university students. It was kind of embarrassing. They didn't really know what they were doing. I was apparently the first... That was the first non-blood crazed murderous individual with horns they'd ever met, and
so you're telling me you had a fan club?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ophelia has is that a cult, Ophelia?
A cult of personality.
I mean, one could almost say, though, when you think about it.
It does depend on how far my entourage is willing to go.
Back at the school, the 3rd shrine has been completed.
We don't talk about the 3rd shrine.
But we do talk about the 2nd.
Yes, it's very tasteful. It's made of stained glass.
It is, and it has lovely, like, when the wind hits it just right, it tinkles just a little bit in the breeze. Yes. Anyway, it's neither here nor there.
But...
Well... suppose that's it. We can enjoy evenings. For one, am going to enjoy the hospitality that has been given to us, and the absolutely lovely room. And you just see she's kind of like she's putting away the remaining of the food, and you could just see she's like nervously like fiddling with her bag now. Like, I'm going to go enjoy, and just let me know when we arrive.
Well, I think we have time for dinner before we arrive. But speaking of mysteries, I wanted to share one with you.
Yes, please.
So, she kind of like gestures over to what you assume is an unseen servant. It's part of the magic. A tray comes over with a nice, one of those silver kind of half domes on it that she opens up, and in a kind of a nice kind of bubbly broth, there is a number of kind of brown lumps. In our world, they'd probably be described as like meatballs or something. And she puts these in front of you, and she says, now, here's the interesting thing. I want each of you, if you're interested, not vegetarian or something, to sample one of these and tell me if you recognize them. Just based on the taste.
Color me intrigued.
I hold
this
one in my
is
little fat
super
hand.
weird. I am in.
It's super weird.
I mean, it's not really a soup, but
yeah. They're meatballs.
So who samples one of the meatballs?
I do.
All right. So first off, Avi, you take a bite, and you are actually reminded that this tastes exactly like a dish that was served during like certain holidays back in your home village. It was like a special little treat or something. It has some name very specific to the like the particular recipe your family came up with, a regional dish. Ophelia, you remember you once went to a not super fancy but fairly fancy restaurant with your mother on one of your birthdays, And this was amongst various dishes brought out where everyone could sample it something. And it was called like blarm or something. I don't know. It had a very specific name. It was a fancy name. You're like, you probably thought at the time, oh, they just threw on a fancy name to this dish. I've had this before or something. Sarah, Charlotte remembers this as well. This was something served on a kind of a family holiday in remembrance of like an elder who passed away or something. And Mercedes kind of stands here and says, "Now let me ask, do you all have a familiarity with this dish?"
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yes.
Yes. It's been a
And
while.
this is remarkable to me because I first had this dish and I've been told by the people who made it that this is actually called special rations from the last wall. And I didn't think of anything when I had it the first time, but then I had it a few years ago in Ntambu called something completely different, but it tasted the same. And since then, I've tried to reach out and sample from different restaurants and from different cultural, uh, not expeditions, but caravans that have come into the city. And I have discovered the most startling fact. Every culture that I've kind of tested this in, possibly throughout vast swaths of Galeria, has a variation of this dish that is exactly the same somehow. Now, and you mentioned mysteries, and this is a mystery that has just stumped me for the longest time. I feel like this is one of those things that you'll never find the answer to how this is possible, or it will drive you mad when you do. Like one of the gods is playing a trick on all of the peoples of the world.
Well, knowing anything about cultures and how they expand and knowledge gets spread, there's a distinct possibility that the origin of a particular food might have been tasted by travelers of individuals and they've passed it on or carried it over. And while the core might be the same, possibly when it was served for a different culture, they equated it with another namesake. And, you know, the way things are is.
But that's the thing. You all seem to be familiar with it just based on the taste alone, like I didn't tell you the name, but I have cooked it the exact way I first learned the dish when I visited the last wall. Is that possible that they all taste the same? Like regional drifts, they would have their own spices, their own meat. But it's just it's maddening. And sorry, Igor, you seem to be in the middle of a thought there.
Oh, yeah, I just found it very funny that someone who claims to be agnostic just said that it could be a trick of the gods.
I mean, I don't worship any of the gods. I acknowledge that they exist. Only a fool would acknowledge, not believe that the gods exist.
I'm legitimately just being pedantic for the sake of being pedantic at this point.
Igor, do you want a bite?
No.
You should bite this.
Have some food.
What do you taste?
Maybe you'll stop being
jerky.
so like that.
I will stop being like this when we are at our destination, murdering slavers.
I mean,
I don't know if you will, though.
I certainly feel better about the trip already. Just and pulls out a little pocket watch. We are probably going to arrive just after dinner, so you'll have a nice full belly, and that's going to be important because I was looking at my maps and remembering some things I've heard recently about Jula, and if it's all right with you, I think we're going to drop you off a little bit outside the city. Arriving in the coach might attract some attention you don't want. It's not a common sight in this region.
No.
Not to mention that you may want to sort of case out the road to the city before you approach it. So, and unfortunately, it is still raining. So, I think someone left some umbrellas in here somewhere. She walks over to like one corner of the room and rattles this like long metal can. Like, oh, yeah, there's a couple in here. They don't belong to me, so you don't have to make a deal to take them if you want.
Oh. Do you have any that are that size?
Actually.
She wanders over to the sideboard where the little bar is. He's like, I've got a large drink umbrella. I don't know how well it'll actually work. It's decorative, but
Is it made out of paper?
I mean, yes.
Mm,
I mean, what else are umbrellas in a
yeah.
fantasy world made out of?
Leaves.
I would imagine like bamboo, like
Hmm.
woven.
Um,
Not something
I
that would
have
be
not
water
been.
soluble.
That's
I'll
some
be
TN
obvious.
stuff. I don't know anything about that.
Avi, if you don't particularly have any qualms about it, you're welcome to use my, and just like the scarf and lift it up. You're welcome to use the scarf as cover for the
Oh.
rain. I will take an umbrella, and you can sit on my shoulder. And
Sounds delightful.
Do we really
Um,
have to leave while it's raining outside?
I mean, this is the Sodden Lands. It rains almost all the time. I'm amazed the ground is ever solid. Yes. I'm afraid I don't have any nice TN umbrellas. I went to TN once. People called me an Oni and threw weird beans at me, and so I haven't gone back since.
Yeah.
they do that, don't they?
I mean, I think it was just one particular person, but they were very persistent. I met some perfectly nice people while I was there. Then every time I turned a corner, there was the same person with a big box of these weird beans. It didn't do anything. I don't know why they kept doing it. I'm not an Oni.
Beans.
Well, maybe you can go back to Tian one day.
I can't. I hate going anywhere where I feel like I'm compelled to wear like a magical disguise or like a veil or anything, because that immediately makes people even more suspicious. Like, why are you hiding your face? Ooh, I can see a magical glamour around you. What are you trying to hide? Ah, horns, beans.
Yeah. Mm,
I get
like
that.
that sometimes.
can imagine.
I don't know. Have any of you ever had beans thrown at you?
I cannot say that I have.
I mean, try once. You know,
I
if you
don't
said
know
you're going to live a long time, you should try a lot of things at least once.
Oh, of course.
don't know
I
if
aim
I've
to
ever
do
had
precisely
beans
that.
thrown at me. I've had people fear me sometimes, but I mean,
Oh, except don't go to a Chiliac brothel. Don't do that.
I didn't plan to, but why not?
no.
There's a fair chance you'll be like murdered or like mind controlled.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay.
To avoid. Fair enough.
Thank you for the heads up. Regarding the leaving the door open task, is there a specific time you would like us to do that?
Just before you leave the city.
Okay.
Yes.
Will do. Will do. What if we die before we get to do that?
Don't.
What does that mean for a theoretical blood debt?
There's no blood to collect.
Don't worry about
Probably
it.
raise you as an undead. Points to Nick Aaron.
I mean, is that the plan?
Don't point.
Well, that's not the
That's
plan.
rude.
No, the plan is for you to walk into the city, kick ass, open door, just door, not doors. And I don't know, find a chest full of gold. That would be pretty sweet, and then leave. But you
That
know,
would be
plans
freaking
don't
sick.
always go to plan.
Yeah,
I
just
never
know
intended to have
sometimes
my head cut off, but you know,
Shame it
it
did.
happens.
Do be like that sometimes.
Here we are.
yep.
That's just I wanted to know if there was a plan for you that if we died before we were able to complete this task, if there was some sort of contingency measure for that.
I mean, the door will get opened.
Interesting.
Maybe just not by us,
Interesting.
correct?
No,
Somebody
no.
else. Anyway, I'm starving. When's dinner?
Motions and dinner is served. It's a hearty kind of warm kind of meal. It's going to make sure you guys keep, you know, once you're well fed, you know, you always kind of stay warm a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Some nice warm stews, the interesting meatballs. And there is an offer of hot toddies after dinner.
Yes.
Yes.
Hot toddy right now.
The laws of hospitalities allow me to extend you these things without incurring any sort of debt.
Oh. Nice. I like the laws of hospitality. I think those were good.
I have learned.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Raid.
It should be noted, Will has not invoked the laws of hospitality because he has not eaten or drank anything. So technically speaking, I could murder him in his sleep, and it wouldn't make me a bad host.
Fascinating. You hear that, Igra?
I mean,
all it would take. That's what he was expecting.
All it would take would be a dominate monster on Gamma and tell him to swallow.
I unsummon Gamma. I'm fine. Honestly, the only thing I'd be really worried about in that is Choco pecking me to death. Because apparently they've chosen your side.
While you were inside of him, wouldn't that just transport you to the first world?
No, it would just plop me on the ground. Walk into Gamma, summon. Just
the phrase there. Walk into Gamma.
Horrifying.
Aha, but now you've fallen into my trap of unsummoning your monster.
Oh yes, and now you can brainwash my friends and murder me. Oh, I am so surprised that this is how I am going to die.
I can't brainwash them. They're my guests. That would violate the laws of hospitality.
That would violate the laws of hospitality. You're right.
Yes.
There's nothing I like more than facilitating and enabling people. It's sticking to the terms of deals. But yeah, you guys, unless you have any other final business, time comes around, your things are brought to you. A few people discover you left a few coins under your beds and stuff, but the Nectarian butler is very fastidious, and he ensures that nothing is left behind in your rooms, no socks or anything. But I always hate that feeling you leave a hotel. Ooh, did I leave something behind?
Yeah. I hate that feeling.
You guys are let out on the road. There is no map for the road outside of Ajula, so I'm just using this Stragglers map previously. Yes, Will?
Igoro lets everyone else leave first.
Ah, yes. I think this was prophesied. Either I can't remember if it was in game or outside of the game, but yeah, everyone steps outside.
I also sent Choco out and Gamma out first too, so it's just the two of us standing in there.
Is this what the intimidate checks were you were rolling before, Will?
No, that was just me seeing. I was making sure that the thing was working because they got set to a custom for a bit, and I was annoyed by it. I just, as Igor was walking out, just say, Mercedes, there is something you can do to make me trust you.
Is it die?
No, it's understand that if you hurt my friends, I will make it my life's mission to erase your existence from every reality you find your tentacles in. And Igor just walks out.
I don't have tentacles unless you're into that. I mean, I've seen some Tien wall scrolls.
Pops out. Pops out.
Why you gotta drag Tien like that?
Sits there.
Hey, it's a rich culture.
It's a rich culture.
Just stands on the road. All right, so we ready to get to work, team?
Yeah, I want to get the hell out of this rain. It's ruining my hair.
The carriage kind of lurches slowly into motion and sort of veers off. There's like a fork in the road. You guys would be the one following the one directly into Jula. This one sort of takes a kind of a long winding path past the city, more farther along the coast. So yeah, you guys find yourself on the rainy road to Jula. The city is visible, maybe about an hour down the road.
Well,
doesn't look particularly hospitable in the rain, but
well, there's no point in standing here and getting soaked. I suppose we should make our way at least to the town
making our
edge.
way.
You're saying that? Ophelia was already walking.
Yeah. Oh, Avi has scurried up your coat sleeve and has nestled herself on your shoulder in your scarf.
I've got one of the big umbrellas from the stand.
Right. As you guys are heading down the road, why don't you give me a old perception check through the rain?
Yep. Igor is just walking on the ground.
Ophelia's big pissed.
Matt, did enough time go by that I'm no longer fatigued?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride on Choco.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. I'm not riding him.
I will move you on top of Choco.
Yeah, I don't want
Oh, I will
friggin'
swap out Igaro.
I don't want freaking mud feet.
None of my rolls are going through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've clicked perception like 8 times.
Do you want to reload roll 20?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that, chat. Sorry.
Are we?
Silverdale.
Are we in a new map or no?
No, you're still in this kind of section because as you guys are advancing down the kind of puddle-filled road, Charlotte,
Me.
what kind of form are you in currently? Because I know Anadi have like a couple different sort of forms.
The humanoid form that you see on my profile. So like the 6 foot.
So you got the yeah, there you go, Will. You got the spider fur, I suppose you could call it, like the hairs.
It's less hair and more. I've just got like in my profile, I've got the blue skin and the
Oh, okay. Sorry, that one,
mandibles
yes.
and everything, but I'm just like I'm full. I have the humanoid form. I'm not a spider form.
Okay. Possibly because your senses are a little different than everyone else's. Something catches your eye as you're walking along.
My eyes.
There's rain falling, it's hitting the ground, the little, plop, 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 water hitting water on the ground. But thankfully, at least there's not a whole lot of wind. So the thing that catches your eye that's kind of odd, you guys pass kind of through and next to a large puddle, and you notice the puddle is kind of swirling in a circular motion, which you kind of walk by, you notice it, think, oh, that's weird, and then you realize, wait, no, that actually doesn't make any sense.
Physics-wise, that makes no
Yeah,
sense.
and just as you shout out or mention something, the water springs off the ground into almost kind of a leaping silhouette. And we are going to roll initiative. If I can find this damn thing. Where is it? Oh, is this all alphabetical? It is.
Yeah,
excellent.
There's also a search bar at the top you can use.
Nope, did it not drag it for me? Let's try that again. There we go. And this thing is popping up right next to Charlotte. And it gets to use its stealth initiative.
Ew.
It is very sneaky.
I am not on the right map.
Yeah,
No,
it can
I
hide.
don't think any of
As
us
long as it
are.
is raining, it can hide anywhere, even without cover.
This might be one of those encounters where there's actually no map for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Got it.
This is actually surprise. Okay, so this is going to be Will complaining about APs for a second. This is a surprisingly common thing in adventure paths, especially in book 3s for some reason. They give a whole bunch of encounters that just don't have maps, so you end up having to like reuse and remake different maps for them. Anyway,
if it's a severe encounter or something with multiple encounters, it's not worth a map.
Yep,
It's the third map shuffle.
This has been Will complaining about Pathfinder AP's maps.
News at 11.
That's fine. We'll theater of the mind this. Let's go. Love a good theater of the mind.
I mean, with all the things I've theater of the mind you are like things for like holiday specials that are like kind of horrifying. All right, we need. Yeah, there we go. I think that is everyone. His will stuff all goes at his order, so yeah. And that's going to be descending. So yeah, the Suzazuli. No pronunciation guide.
Sumzili?
Sumzili, thank you.
Sumzili.
It appears to be some sort of like weird water thing. It takes a humanoid shape, almost looks like a very kind of threatening, almost kind of elvish thing. It's got long, thin arms, kind of claw-like fingers made of water, long hair, pointy ears, almost sort of like a weird ballerina-esque dress made of water.
Huh.
Is it?
But
Is there a token for it on the map?
Yeah, right next to Charlotte.
Roll 20. I can't see it. Oh god, I love roll 20 sometimes, y'all.
Oh wait, hold on. I know what the problem is. I put you all on the wrong. I didn't have. I put the map on my screen. I didn't move the little flag.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like,
Oh, we were like,
Oh,
so we're
yeah,
still
there
in
we
the
are.
prison.
Right. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess we
I
like
never
are
looked
fully
at
theater
the map
blinding it.
on
Oh,
Twitch.
that's terrifying. Great. Thank
Oh, she's
you.
cool.
Wait, can I just like, that'll be next week.
Take
You want us to re-roll our initiatives?
Maybe that's next week.
No, I can still see it.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
can't see myself on the tracker, but
tracker's
Alright,
still
so-
up for stream as well, so.
Oh yeah, the tracker is.
all right.
We changed
Sure.
maps. That's why.
Well, let's just roll again.
I mean, the tracker's still up on Matt's and mine's screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'll
still there.
So it basically goes the enemy, Ophelia, Igora. Pardon me, Endures in Darkness, Igora, Avi, Charlotte.
The enemy and then the party.
Yeah, the enemy in the party.
Cool. We'll just let you tell us when.
First off, this one is going to use its Soaking Strike against Charlotte. It's going to. Ooh.
Oh, Avi, do you want to place your token near or next to mine since you're on my shoulder?
Oh, I'll take
that's
care of that.
true.
I'll just put you right there next to Igra and above Charlotte, so to speak. So I'm going to need you, Charlotte, to make a Fortitude save.
Fortitude save. Okay.
That is a failure. It was a 32 you needed. So you are going to treat the area as one step colder. So it was mild. Now it's severely cold for you.
Great.
Yeah. And if they do this again, if they can get you to a certain level, you may become fatigued due to the intense cold for whatever reason.
Yes, a nice warm place, and this is what I get.
And now it's going to just claw you for its remaining action. And it critically fails.
Wow.
All right, we go to Ophelia.
So you're saying that I'm seeing Charlotte just like shivering like a crazy person right now?
No, you can see the thing. It is kind of formed out of the water and kind of leapt at Charlotte and kind of splashed her with what appears to be a pretty cold water because Charlotte is now shivering, and it tried to take a swipe at her with almost like weird watery claws.
Can I press to digitate that water off of her?
No, it seems to have like soaked into her bones. It's magical.
Oh, it's in your bone water gets you real bad, I know.
Not the bone water.
The bone water. Is that just soup?
I was thinking soup too.
All right, so we're gonna go with the Inspire Hero. So let's do our performance check. Oh, that's pretty low. I think that's gonna be still the +1?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so we got him.
You only rolled a 5.
I know. I'll save the hero point for another time. But we got Bard Song up. And then let's see. That's a
What thoughts?
technically when I was writing, I put myself there because I'm on the fat part of the bird and not writing on the face of the bird.
Because you are riding the bird, they will be able to hit you from anywhere they could hit the bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have a spell that's a 15-foot cone that I would like to aim where it doesn't hit anybody else,
Yep.
you know? So like yeah, so like that. Pony. Because
20,
my
12.
little my little Rose Leshy and I have been practicing and we have a fun spell. So Ophelia starts like kind of like brushing her hair and her little Rose Leshy starts like going back and forth as she's singing, and she sings Flower Gleam and Glow.
Aww.
Let the past rewind, and she does Cast into Time. So I'm going to need
Nice.
I'm gonna need to have a fortitude save from the Sumzidi.
This is fascinating that it is somehow labeled as a cantrip on Roll20.
I put it on.
Alright.
I put it on the wrong section.
Oh,
I would hope.
I didn't want to type all of
That's
that
a
out.
fort save, you say, okay.
Yeah.
Where's the fort? There it is. That is a success, but not a critical.
All right, so that'll be half of 45.
So that will be essentially 44 because I have to round down, so 22.
And I want to make sure that I did do that right because it is mental and bludgeoning damage.
All the damage seems to go through.
Okay.
it is calculated correctly in Roll20. I'm looking.
Okay,
They're
lovely.
rolled separately. You're good.
That's a lot of
Excellent.
rolls.
Isn't that
Or
just so
did it?
fun?
Yes, it did.
Though, Ophelia, as you say that, you hear kind of just a voice somewhere nearby, almost. You're not sure if it's just in your head or somewhere nearby. Wither and decay.
Ooh, that's spooky. All right, and then that's gonna be my turn. Yes, that's my turn.
Endures in darkness, who has been enjoying walking through this mud. It's very nourishing. He sees all this going down. He's like, oh dear, that is just an angry puddle. He's going to move over here to try and get ready to heal anyone if necessary. Will, if he gives a guidance to you, does it work on Gamma?
Yeah.
All right, so he is going to spend one action to start his shield thing pumping out. So actually, you know what? He'll stand here then, because then he can get Gamma, Igra, and Avi Avi with the shield thing, the plus AC, and he'll tap area occurring shoulder or a hand on Igra's shoulder, and he'll just whisper in your ear, "I got your back. I didn't trust anything in that weird carriage either."
Thank you.
You notice no one mentioned Endures the Darkness while we were in the carriage.
He's taking a nap.
He went into his room and did not come out.
Mhm.
And you get guidance, Will. And appropriate because it's now your turn.
All right, so Choco's action that Choco gets because they're a old animal companion is just going to be striding to here in a way that would provoke AO if it has it.
One thing I want to mention, because I think this is the first time anyone has moved in this combat. I'm gonna need you, Will, to take a reflex save because you find suddenly the ground is even more slippery than it should be, and you realize there's like a weird kind of watery field emanating from their feet.
28.
Let me just check the DC of this. No, I need the spells.
Hey, thanks
28.
for the follow.
That I think will be a success because I think Bard Song actually works for this. I think
No, it doesn't. It's not an attack roll.
Oh,
But since I'm riding Choco, could I try to assist?
oh well, you do have guidance though, Will. Do you want to? That would give you +1, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm not going to give it to Choco.
No, if he's not, there's no way.
No,
He
no,
wants Choco to die.
to Gamma because Choco's moving. Sorry.
Yeah, Choco's
Um,
the one. So.
It's Choco.
Yeah, unfortunately, because while the
that-
thing is
Does that make
grease.
it difficult terrain? Does that
No.
What are we dealing with, Matt?
Basically, it has a constant conjure grease all around it. The solid ground in the area is covered with grease. Each creature standing in the greasy surface must succeed at a reflex save or an acrobatic check against the spell DC or fall prone.
Okay, so Choco falls prone. Cool.
Yes.
Choco continues to be useless.
But there, right?
Oh, there?
Right here. Isn't that where we were?
No, because he would have had to. If it triggered when he started moving, it would fall down where he is.
I see.
And it's like Matt. Can we tell how big the aura is?
It seems to be 10 feet of the thing.
Okay, so yeah, Choco was inside of it, so that's what caused that. Cool. That means that this won't be impeded then. Igara is going to go. I have to see if I fall prone.
Yeah, it should be noted. Yeah, it seems to be. It's not. even if you're standing within 10 feet, you don't have to move. But if you move within the 10 feet,
so 33 for Igor not to fall prone.
Awesome.
The DC I think is only a 29. Let me just check that real quick.
Oh, so she almost made it.
It is a 29.
Cool. So Igor is fine. Igor is spending 2 of their actions on their turn to haste themselves. And then last action, Gamma is going to stride to here. That'll be within 10 feet of it, so we might as well go up to there. 31 is fine, and that's my turn.
One would hope a frog would be good at navigating in muddy water.
Right?
Avi, you are within 10 feet of it. Give me wait, no, you're riding on Charlotte. So that means if Charlotte falls over, you will automatically fall over as well.
Try not to fall over. No promises.
I believe in you. I just want to do a quick intelligence-based check to see what this creature is.
All right.
What
It
their
is an
deal is.
uncommon creature. So let's see what your I would say, because this, I'll just let you know, it's a fae, so I think this would be Arcana.
Nature or occultism.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I really have to look this up. I'm guessing half the time.
I can do occultism.
Sure. Occultism.
I believe occultism is great.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'll roll a 3.
Yeah, no, you think this is an angry puddle.
It sure is an angry puddle.
You think it knows the god bird?
It probably does know the god bird. You're so correct about that.
Roll for Godbird.
Roll for god bird. This is gonna be well, I guess I could move away from it. Yeah, I will hop off Charlotte's shoulders and see if I can't flutter.
Can you actually fly?
A little bit.
Hasn't come up very often. You've actually never really tried to fly.
I can at this point. I do have the feats to do it like a little bit. But...
Well, then I'll say, because you just have to move the 5 feet to get out of the thing. So if you do have things that allow you to fly a little bit, yes, you won't have to take the check.
Yeah, it's technically a step. But I'm going to do that, and then
thank you, Will.
Needle of Vengeance, which
cheeky little Needle of Vengeance
is now.
Oh, really? Fae is just nature?
Yeah, Fae is nature.
Well, it was a 3 on the die phase either way.
Yeah. That seems weird to me, because Fae aren't natural nature.
Yeah, I agree. Also, you'd think being Fae yourself might help with that, but...
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, but you guys are like...
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in 5e.
You guys are almost like Diaspora Fae, because you don't live in the first world. You guys like migrated away.
That's so true!
Like Fae... I'm not saying Fae belong in the first world. I'm just saying you're Fae that don't live in the first world. You like sort of don't obey the rules of this world in a way.
Fae diaspora.
First world problems.
So
you
funny.
little bats.
I'm gonna do it against Gamma. So anytime she attacks Gamma.
Charlotte, you are up. You got a angry puddle in your face, but you also got the reassuring presence of apparently the trustworthy animal companion next to you, according to Igor.
I trust both of them honestly, I haven't seen anything that makes me think otherwise.
I mean, Chogo did just fall on his big bird butt and probably took Charlotte with him.
Oh,
Ophelia.
Well, I mean, that's fair. It's rainy. It's
which is ironic because she was up there to avoid walking in the mud.
The freaking mud.
It does make it awkward, doesn't it? I'm in a close range that I don't like to be in for my particular brand.
My brand.
It makes horrible gurgling sounds at you.
Gross. I don't know how much physical attacks are going to work on this one, so we're going to try something more magical in variety. So we're going to go with an electric arc at it.
Oh. The old 1-2 punch.
Flex 28. It'll probably make it. It is water.
No, it rolled a nat 2.
Love to see
Nice.
it.
I'm not going to choose to use my villain point on that because that's too easy.
Too easy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I appreciate the villain point. I will try to use it. But yeah, that's going to be a nice 14 electricity. It doesn't seem to take any extra damage, but all of it seems to go through, so it doesn't have resistance.
15.
15, you are correct. Thank you for reminding me.
15.
I should just make a little icon and put it on the map whenever Bard Song is up, like a big musical note that has a +1 on it.
We can,
So every
we can,
fight.
we can upload that as a token thing. To
Yeah.
A little token.
Make it a really big one so I don't forget.
Put it over the whole
So that
fight.
is 2 actions. You have 1 action remaining.
2 actions. I got the 1 action remaining. The 1 action remaining I will use is
a reflex check to see if you were knocked prone by stabbing.
Oh yes,
the
please do
Yeah.
a cartoon slippery ground.
a reflex, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Critical success. You steady yourself with your weird leg spear.
Oh yeah.
This ain't my
Speaking
first
of-
rodeo.
Speaking of, I'll just do that.
Stab it. 34. That
35.
action 35, thank you. That does hit, even without the +1.
Not a lot, but
And because your thing tore off, I'm gonna say your spear is classified as being made of bone. We're gonna say from here on out.
I think so.
Mm.
Titan,
Exoskeleton.
perhaps.
Mm.
Titan, bone. It's all what fingernails are. That's not true at all for bone. Don't. I'm not a doctor. I may play one on Wednesdays for a period, but not that kind of doctor.
It is a spindle leg either way.
Yes, that hits. It does 2 piercing damage. That all seems to go through.
3.
That's good.
3,
No,
thank you.
And that
All right. All right. It does not like that, despite it not doing a tremendous amount of damage. It just doesn't like being stabbed with things, which is a reasonable reaction, honestly. So it is going to gather its hands together and make the sound of someone angrily drowning. And it is going to use, with 2 actions, level 4 hydraulic torrent.
That's great.
It is going to shoot a possibly 24 bludgeoning damage. Yeah, through Charlotte and Igora.
Ouch.
I need a fort save.
Ooh, did you say a fort save?
I said a fort save.
Oh, I think that now that we're level 11, I get to have fun with these.
Nice.
Oh, you get Juggernaut early.
I think so.
34.
Oh, do you get Juggernaut?
I don't know if it has
Oh,
any.
you
bearing-
both passed, but not
Twinsies!
critically. So you're
give
just
me
going
one
to take half damage. So
I don't know if it
Well-
has any bearing, just logistically, but I don't know if that's because I don't remember.
Hey, Matt.
They're not even.
yeah,
I get
Are we-
Juggernaut at level 11.
nice.
No damage.
No damage. And the wording here is a little confusing. It says additional damage knockback 5 feet, 10 feet on a critical thing, but down here it says critical creatures that fail save are also knocked 5 feet. Oh, so okay, so no, yeah. Failure, you get knocked 5 feet. Critical failure, it's 10 feet, but you've also succeeded.
Yeah.
Technically, critically succeeded for Igora. So. All right, so just, I guess, Charlotte takes 12 damage, unless Charlotte also has Juggernaut.
No.
All right, so just 12 damage as you're hit with a very aggressive Super Soaker.
Rude.
Yes, very. And then it is just going to slash at you with its watery claws again.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Matthew, does that spell the manipulate action?
No. Yes, semantic, I think, is
Semantic
manipulating.
is manipulate.
Yes,
Then in that case, I will take Gamma's AO.
sure.
So that'll be
26?
26 to hit only. Ugh.
They sort of like unnaturally twist their body out of the way.
Yeah, I rolled a 4. That's fair.
That's pretty good for a 4, honestly.
Yeah.
And claw attack on 41 on Charlotte. I think yeah, is that a crit?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 36 slashing damage as the claws, though they move through the air like they're water, They are very solid when they hit you, very sharp.
Charlotte,
What was the
maybe
damage?
walk
I'm
away
sorry.
on your turn.
46? 46. Ow.
36, yes, because it'd be double the slashing.
Pain. Lots of pain.
Don't worry, the healer's up in 2 turns. Ophelia, you are probably on your back in the mud right now because you fell with Choco.
Oh, great clothes, too.
You are prone.
Well,
that's what prestidigitation is for.
Would I also have to make the reflex save because of
the
grease?
You are already prone because you were riding on something that fell prone, so you are already on your back on the ground.
All right.
So unless you want to crawl, you're going to have to spend an action to stand up. Or you could just do all your casting from the ground. Like a peasant.
See, I'm a lot of things. I ain't no peasant, okay?
Then you should probably waste an action standing up.
No, I'm going to cast Keep Bard Song up.
The DM rolls a persuasion check.
And I'm so mad that I'm on the ground that this thing has like a body you can see, you don't see through it.
It's like a water type elf, except angrier, or a water banshee.
All right. Well, I'm shaking your organs. I don't like you very much. We're gonna go with the painful vibrations.
That's not a phrase I thought I'd hear tonight.
Shaking your organs.
I'm mad.
That's fair.
Make me a fortitude. Pretty please.
Critical failure. All right, I'm going to try using my villain point on.
I mean, Zoe gave it to Matt, so this is kind of funny.
Yeah, poetic. Success, but not critically.
All right.
So half of 32, so...
Half of 33.
Darn the villain points.
Down to 32.
Also, I just want to say it wasn't Zoe that gave it to Matt. It was Zoe's partner
Even
who
better.
gave Matt the villain point.
Even better.
You can punish him for that.
How dare.
Matthew.
How dare.
McKenna.
Well, no, you can't.
You're
you
starting to sound like Will, Matthew.
No, I meant literally. Like, you can literally throw a cat at him.
Not in the fun way. Not in the fun way. Is what he meant.
Again, stop trying to whack me with magic cards. They are not mass. They don't have enough mass.
They're not bonking.
They're not bonking. They're swapping.
Actually, they kind of hurt when they're in a full staff.
Anyway, 16 sonic damage. All of it seems to go through.
Excellent. That's my turn.
All right. Endures in Darkness saw the big hit that Charlotte took and the big hit that he almost took if he had been standing behind Igor in a diagonal fashion. He's going to spend 1 action to punch out the AC thing. So now, Charlotte, you're going to get +1 to AC on your turn as well. Basically, everyone who isn't Choco and Charlotte and Ophelia. And then I'm going to spend 2 actions on kind of a mid-level heal. Probably... Yeah. Level 3 heal. So that's 3d8 plus 24. Not 3f8. That's not a command. Charlotte, you are going to receive 36 health back.
Thankful.
Igra, it is your turn.
Okay, Choco stands up for the action they get and immediately falls back prone and takes a d6 of damage. Takes 6 damage.
Choco is so heartbroken that you're being mean to him that he's having a rough time,
And
okay?
Look,
That's
he doesn't have the correct feet for muddy, swampy terrain, unfortunately.
Somebody get him some tennis rackets.
He is a savannah bird.
Gamma.
He needs some milk.
1 action.
He needs some milk.
Boost Eidolon. +2.
Boost.
Oh, good.
Boost.
So this will get the +2 and then a plus.
1 from.
No, because they don't stack because they're both status bonus, so mine will override hers.
Oh.
To damage rolls with an arm attack. So mine will override it. However, increases a 2 per. So it's going to be +4 to damage, +1 to attack.
Roll that roll.
31, so 32.
Just 1 off.
33 is what I need. Okay. Attack the second.
Well, did you use that guidance from last turn, or does it last?
It lasts a minute, but it would have been used immediately on my reflex
Okay.
save.
That certainly hits.
So that'll be 28 sonic damage.
Nice. All of it goes through.
Third attack. And that'll miss.
Avi, you are up, and Charlotte, you'll be up next.
Reminder, I am hasted. That's why I was able to cast a spell and make 3 attacks.
Haste is very good.
All right. I'm gonna sustain needle and let's see if a cheeky little phantasmal killer will do anything.
Oh my, a will save, you say?
Yes, please.
Critical failure. You make them think of a desert.
This
Or
target
some might
is so
say-
afraid it might die. It must attempt a fortitude save, and if it fails, it dies.
They got a glimpse of the setting, the terrain of the Wednesday game, of the dry, empty wastelands.
But there's literally a beautiful, massive waterfall directly to your south.
She don't
Yes.
see that.
It's
Don't
it's
see
behind
it.
her. She's not looking.
I mean,
that
maybe
direction.
she'll flee to it when she has to flee until the end of their next turn, being frightened for.
Oh boy! Oh boy! That may just end the combat.
Can she make me another fortitude save?
Spring stack.
No, she's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah. Hey, McKenna, you just killed them.
Oh, Avi,
Excited this worked.
wow. You just...
You can't even reroll it. Just have another
Jack.
villain point.
Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Matt, make sure this thing isn't immune to death effects.
I'll just tell you now, it has no immunities. It actually has resistance to fire.
Well, then you're good.
Also, because it is a fey creature, what do you think it would be vulnerable to, Will?
Cold iron.
Cold iron.
Exactly. But
I
that's
wanted to
mixing
take-
character
there was-
knowledge with player knowledge.
There was a cold iron spike spell that I wanted to take, but I just didn't feel like it was good for Avi to be casting cold iron spells.
Wouldn't she not like it?
But like exactly, I was like, I could do this, and as a fae, she would know like what this would be good against. But
So-
also,
It just sort of like quivers and then pops like some sort of like, you know, those soap bubbles you make.
it has a watery heart attack.
I'd like to say you just instant killed the thing that still had 117 hit points.
Good
That's
for
a
McKenna.
lot of hell.
That might have dragged on for a little while.
And the play of the night goes to McKenna Raytanen with the lucky roll.
While I
And as
read a spell description
reward-
for things that have like a really cool critical failure effect, and then I go, that's cool. It's never gonna happen, but it's cool that it's there. So when it does happen, I'm very excited.
You immediate prestige.
I mean, the entire campaign on Wednesday, I think Garl only managed to scare one person to death.
So tragic.
To be fair, I barely remembered to use Intimidate, because usually I'm just like, I'm just going to kill you to death.
I mean,
That's
that's
the
a pretty.
ultimate
It was
intimidation.
a pretty effective strategy.
I will unalive you until you die.
Hmm.
But yeah, you guys, you dealt with this encounter. It was a low 11 encounter, despite the fact that the creature was a level 12. Yeah. Do you guys just want to proceed? Unfortunately, there is no loot because it had no clothes or equipment of any kind.
That makes sense. It's now
You could gather up some
one
of
with
the
the
dead
water.
unless I don't know if this is like one of those things where because it's a fey creature, it dying just returned it to the first world.
Typically, you have to die. At least my understanding of it is that you have to die in the first world to be reincarnated.
Though I wonder, does that? Okay,
I don't
not
know.
like
what that
not like a
means.
demon, not like a
Probably
demon or a
just
devil where it
impossible
immediately
to
goes back to its plane.
I
because that's
don't
like the
believe so,
idea of
no.
some of this. I don't know, because I don't know how the rules work for Pathfinder, but I know that to summon some eidolons and elementals, you got to have the actual elements for it.
You guys are actually having this academic discussion in the rain, and Endures in Darkness pulls out like a little wooden tablet of his, and he starts scratching a note. He's like, "I'll make a note to ask the library about this when we return."
Aw.
Well,
Thank you,
I want
Endures
to
in
get the
Darkness.
heck out of this rain. I'm very cranky right now.
Right, of course. And
please.
Charlotte immediately just scoops you up, Avi, and puts you back in.
Like she makes like the uppies hands.
As you guys approach the city of Jula, anyone is willing to give me a society check to try and remember what you may know about the history of the city?
I defer to Avi.
Ooh.
Hey, don't do that.
Oh, Ophelia and Ami. You guys both know stuff. Jula is built upon cliffs overlooking the sea. Oh.
Not the nat 20 from Igora.
Minus 1 skills.
You guys start to speak, and then Igor's like, actually.
Wait, I remember.
Well,
I just wanted to see how bad it would be.
I mean, that may end up being possibly the last roll of the night. We'll see. Depends on a decision you guys are going to have to make in a moment.
Brilliantly stupid.
So, Jula is built upon cliffs overlooking the sea. In times gone by, it was once a larger city occupying steep river valleys along the Highland trade route, but the Eye of Abendigo, which is this forever hurricane, kind of strayed a little close to the coast once in a uncharacteristic move, and only portions on the cliffs survived. The city used to be everywhere around the coast here. Then the Eye of Abendigo came in, wrecked everything but the stuff that was too high up to be wrecked. So now only the stuff on the cliff is still there. You guys approach the town's east entrance, and you notice there appear to be, just brazenly out in the open, a pair of Knights of Abendigo watching the gates, kind of like cajoling and talking with people as they kind of morosely trudge into the city. A few carts kind of go by. It seems the city is like not under lockdown or hasn't been seized by an invading army. They are occupying the city and are trying to make it function for them. You see a few people kind of shoulders slumped, pull out like gold coins, put it in hand. A few people reach under the shirts and pull out what appears to be like jewelry they were wearing and hand it over. Are you guys approaching the gate?
I think,
I'll give him Choco.
Are there other ways to enter?
It does not appear that you can see any other entrances. Assuming you don't want to, try attempting to scale the city walls, which even in the rain would be very obvious.
I would say maybe our best bet is to be cautious and attempt to be as inconspicuous as possible to begin with. So maybe
What if we put all of our valuables that we don't want to get
away for right now, so we don't have to pay for an additional?
Yeah, here, Gamma, open up your mouth. And we'll do this like hidden off to the side.
Yeah, there's some trees here and there.
Everyone put your valuables in Gamma's second stomach.
Let's just use my bag of holding and then I can hide in Charlotte's scarf.
Oh. Okay.
Also, what
Endures
if we
in
just
Darkness.
use sphere? We have sphere of invisibility.
Oh yeah, let's do that. I like that idea.
I worry.
Nah,
We know.
And we
these
only pay
guys-
maybe one fare, and then
These
the
guys-
rest of us sneak in.
These guys have all been kind of pushovers. I doubt they have true sight. Let's do it.
Well, so
They're both disguised elder dragons. No.
Well, let's try this. Something simple.
Are you gonna blow them up? I like that plan.
Yeah, we could just murder them. We could just go full aggro and just start killing these guys.
And you just see
Just the genocide route for it. Just, fight your way through the entire city.
he just reaches out and brings out a gold coin and goes, we just have one person pay the fare and
Should be
create a
noted, it did seem like those who were paying coins were paying more than one gold coin.
That's fair. That's perfectly fair.
Toss a coin to the slavers.
The problem is that, and I don't mean to be particularly rude to you, Gama, but that is a gate that is yay big, and you are yay big.
Are you calling Gama fat?
Gama can fit. It's a city gate. Yeah. Like carts can go through it, like a couple abreast. It's a big enough gate.
Calling him fat?
Saying he's a gigantic creature.
He's a large creature. He's the
same size as Coco. He's not gigantic.
Yeah, he's gigantic. I think it's 8 by 8 squares.
He's the same size. He's not gigantic for another 2 levels.
Did you say 8 by 8 squares?
Gigantic is 8 by 8, I think.
Yikes!
No, that's not big.
Yeah,
gigantic is like
Gama won't be gigantic until like
3 by 3,
16 or 17.
I mean,
eventually.
So here's my general thought process. One person should make without having to wait for another person to open the gates and go through, we have one person.
Well, it sounds like the gates are just open and they're just kind of like watching people.
I mean, it is sort of the middle of the day. The business of the city is happening. Carts are coming in through. People are going in and out. They're just like, it's a toll. It's a toll gate.
Yeah.
I just think the strangest thing, and to draw more attention in the event that somebody acknowledges the spell is in play and you hears us or something, or it doesn't.
Fine, give me your money. Give it. Give. How much money are you giving me?
About 5 gold coins.
5 gold. All right, we're going through with 5 gold.
About 350.
I guess I'm the most normal-looking one here.
That's not incorrect. So the rest of us, I'm assuming, are sphering it?
Yes. I mean, yes.
Does this make you feel better, Charlotte?
It does. I only worries I don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves if we were.
Don't want you to worry.
Don't worry.
And draw attention to our
we'll loot
party of
we'll loot it
animal
off of
people.
We'll loot it off of them when we're done here.
Oh yeah, it's not my money.
Distracting self.
Distracting? You think
I'm
All right.
Distracting? So the plan is,
in a good way,
Ophelia is going to approach like a normal person. The rest of you are sort of following them like a bunch of invisible goslings.
Yep. And unsummon Gama so that I don't have to worry about that.
Yes. It turns out, as you're approaching, that was a very good decision, because you guys do notice that even under the invisibility, there's plenty of little puddles and mud, so I'm going to need everyone to make a stealth roll. You are going to have good bonuses because you are invisible, but you're going to...
Can I add a bonus if I approach singing?
Would you like to make a performance check to attempt to distract them?
Yeah, absolutely, because that was
totally
a 13.
That is totally a thing you can do. Well, you would need to make the stealth roll because you're visible.
Nat 20.
Well, yeah, but Igora just rolled a 13.
Oh, very good stealth for Igora.
I'm going to use my flight feet so that I'm not making any sound.
I mean, you could just be clinging to someone's shoulder.
Or that's true, I could. I'll just
you
cling
are,
to Charlotte.
You are a little invisibility orb that they're carrying.
That is so
Contemplate
cute.
the orb.
All right.
Yeah, that is... Let's just check what their passive
Speaking of
perception
stalking
is.
stealth,
I'm a traveling minstrel. I am here to liven up this town. I heard you guys need some entertainment.
They both kind of look at you. Can you sing the one song about the pirate queen with the huge jugs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll sing it in later.
All right.
See you there, right?
I mean, maybe 10 gold.
I've got 5, but I'll sing that song for you for free.
Question, Ophelia, are you wearing any jewelry right now?
Nope. Her eyes are the jewels of her whole ensemble.
I mean,
babe, that's careful with that one.
I mean,
she batters her eyelashes at them.
Oh, do you want to make a diplomacy check to try and to
Yes, I would love
the
to make a
cost?
diplomacy check with my performance because that's one of the feats that I have.
Sure.
I still roll
Gotta
that.
love it when
There
they
we
listen to
go.
this.
38.
Hey, beautiful. Look at those eyes. How could you resist
Come
those?
on.
I mean, considering they have a will of 14, yeah, I'm gonna say that's a success.
That's a crit
Technically, the
success.
will DC is
Critical
24. 24
Gross.
DC, but
That's a
still.
crit success.
That is crit success. He kind of like he stares at you, kind of like slack-jawed for a second, and then even in the cold, the rain stuff, you see a little heat come to his cheeks. He's like, "All right, I suppose you got a nice voice. I'll take the 5 gold. You can go in. Hope you find a good tavern. It's fine." And the other
Excellent,
guy's
thank
looking at
you.
him. What are you doing? Shut up, Phil.
Oh, yeah. All right, so in we go.
Yeah. You guys make it into Jula. And that is probably where we're going to stop for today. The next entire section is called Inside Jula. This is gonna get complicated
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
And
for one reason: revolution.
Oh, and also because we're
Ooh.
invisible.
Yes, mostly I'm saying you guys are gonna have to maybe coordinate with some local groups. Maybe you're gonna maybe try and stage an uprising.
Keizo,
Viva la resistance.
I have a fun little competition for us next week then.
Oh, I'm very excited.
I'll tell you off stream, but thank you all so much for coming to
I think
It's
I
a
know
good
what it
one.
is.
to
It's gonna be a
tonight's
good one.
episode of The Strength of Thousands AP. Don't forget to check out our many other shows here on the channel, like the Astral Calling on Friday, the Campaign 2, League of Amazing Adventures Campaign 2, Session 0 on Wednesday, Sultan Strategy on Saturday, Stardew Sunday on Sunday, and of course, The Strength of Thousands AP, the show you're watching right now, every single Monday. Monday, be here, be here, be here.
You need to know what you're getting.
Be here, be here,
hey,
be here.
Someone who we haven't had a chance to raid in a very long time is live. And I think after all of that time eating rations, Igora could really use some emergency food. So we're going to go say hi to Karina.
Emergency provisions.
Emergency provisions.
So thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget to check out our many other shows here on the channel, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.